those that clicked into the video that just want to know how to clean the shells without watching a full vlog, I will have it listed in like the description below. Today is a bittersweet day and I'm gonna tell you why. Weather forecast shows that this is going to be one of the last like warm days. It's just gradually gonna get cooler and cooler and cooler. And I still have all of my seashells that I have been meaning to clean and go through ever since we got back from Florida back in like April. I meant to do it all summer long and it just never happened. So I put on my swimsuit, put on my Florida hat, and we're gonna go outside and we're gonna be in the sun the entire day. The entire day we are gonna stay in the sun. I'm gonna turn the music on, I'm gonna find a fun drink, and I'm gonna finally go through all of my shells. Here's kind of what we're starting with. You can see just we've ignored this area. We just have not touched this area, but you can see it's just a dusty, dirty mess, and Joel has been begging me to get this all cleaned out for so long, and it's time. I think it's time. I went through all the bags that were on the floor, and I had a few bags that I knew I had washed them in Florida, so these are all washed, but let me show you how we wash the shells. I have these ones set aside because they are more delicate and they don't need as much time in the bleach water as the rest of these. So you fill a sink, fill the water until they are covering your shells. As the water is filling, I'm just gonna pour a bunch of bleach in there. You do not have to be exact, just bleach water. I used to be nervous that if you used too much bleach or if you left them longer than 24 hours, you were gonna bleach the color out of your shells. You are never going to bleach the color out of your shells. Not possible. Good morning, it's a new day. The shells soaked overnight. There is some work going on outside, so it's a little noisy. But do you see how clean this is? While I was organizing shells, putting things away, I also cleaned the garage. Now we're going to rinse and scrub them. I like to take a wire brush like this to do the scrubbing. The gunk has kind of softened, so when you scrub it, you can see it's coming off. After you're done scrubbing your shells, then you're gonna lay them out to dry. Okay, all of our shells are clean, and once they dry, they can still look like this. So I'm gonna show you how to take care of this type of a look. I'm also gonna show you what to do if you have barnacles that are still on there that didn't come off with scrubbing. If you have a handheld fingernail file, that will work. I have a Dremel. It's been well used, so we'll see if it works. And I used to be scared that I was gonna ruin the shell, but they're pretty hardy. I rinsed this shell and you can see, you cannot even tell where those barnacles were. I left the barnacles on top just so you could see the difference. So taking a file to your shells is not going to hurt them at all. You can get something sharp and pick the things off. I find that doesn't work near as good, and I usually will damage my shell with that. So I just take a file and Dremel all that stuff off. If you dip the shells in muriatic acid, it takes them from this to that. Can you see the difference between the left and the right side? This is such a transformative part in cleaning and maintaining your shells. Because I think the Florida Fighting Conchs are gonna give us the best wow before and after, we're gonna start with these ones. You can see the before. We're gonna dip it in muriatic acid, and you only have, when people do this and they hold it in there for so long, it makes me stressed, and I'll show you why. Because it will eat through your shell. As you can see, it eats through all of the calcium and whatever else is deposited on the shell and just eats that right off. That's a deeper colored one. I thought that this lighter color one would be really pretty too. 1, 2, and it's still eating as it's dripping off. Then you neutralize it in the water. Oh, so pretty. This is a horse conch. I don't know how bright it will get, but we'll see. Neutralize it in the water. Yeah, see, I didn't think. The older they get, the more vibrant orange goes away. I'm gonna dip it just One more time. Yeah, they don't get as vibrant, but I still love that shell. We're gonna do the lightning whelk because you can see it's super cloudy. The top, the side. Dip it in for a few seconds. Neutralize it. Oh my gosh, look at the top. It takes that chalkiness right out. We'll do the shark eye next. Dip it in for a few seconds. Neutralize it in the water. It makes those colors so vibrant. Oh, that is so fun. We'll do a tulip. Some shells are more delicate than others, so I don't like them to stay in as long. You can just see it brings out the colors. This is a huge lettered olive. I'm so excited about this one. Just put it in there for a few seconds. So, okay, that one didn't brighten up as much as I was like hoping, but it's still very beautiful. Okay, I love these Murexes. Oh gosh, so pretty. Oh! I'm hopeful for this one. This is a huge Murex. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. Oh, I can already tell. So pretty. I mean, tell me you don't see such a massive difference. I told you that you could never over bleach your shells, and that's true. You cannot over bleach your shells, but you can disintegrate your shell in the acid. So I'm gonna show you what it's like when you over acid your shell, when you leave it in for way too long. It will disintegrate and eat your shell. I don't think even that will do it. Oh, yep, you can kind of tell. It already had some spots on it like this, but what wasn't there is you can see that it's starting to kind of eat in there. Oh, the sun is moving on us. I gotta scooch in. I'm gonna hold this in here for a little longer. The longer I hold this in, the less color that it has. It's taking away all the color, and you can see it's just eating away through the shell. We're gonna do it again. You cannot over bleach them, but you can over disintegrate them in acid. Lady loves sitting out here with us because, you know, it's warm. This is where we are. Lincoln, how come it's just me and you, huh?
His dad's working the tractor for a minute.
Yep, you were on the tractor and now you're helping with shells. And everyone else is gone. Cody and Lincoln are doing, or Cody and Boston are doing lawns. Olivia is with a friend.
1, 2, 3.
And then let it drain. Yep. Good. Good job.
1.
Yep. Yep. So those ones are like paper. They're very delicate.
That's why they're called paper mache.
Paper fig, I think.
I think. Ooh.
This is kind of weird. No, it's not kind of weird. I feel like I'm shelling all over again. Like when I pick up all the shells, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have this one. Or like, like I feel like I'm shelling all over again. I feel like that just like lighthearted, I'm running away from life type of like a feel. It's how I feel while I'm doing this. And it's just as if I'm standing outside our RV.
No, I guess you are standing outside the RV. It's not far.
Yeah, that's right. Our old pal. Wish we could be out palling around together right now.
Let's go, Miles.
Come on, Miles, take me away. My back is killing me and it's worth it. Once all the shells dried and we took all of these through the muriatic acid, some of them still have a few things on them like this. I could take a brush to them, but I think Lincoln really wanted a chance to use the Dremel, so Lincoln's helping me get all the stuff off. The shells are all clean. They have been through the acid wash, and now they are all lined up face up so that I can polish them. At this point, I know a lot of people will put mineral oil on their shells, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't like mineral oil. Yes, it makes it shiny and brings out the colors, but the mineral oil eventually wears off, and I think it kind of leaves it not sticky, maybe a little tacky, and I think it attracts dust. So I put on an acrylic sealer. I don't know if it adds any like strength to it, but in my mind, I think it does. You do not have to at this point, but I like to spray them. Once I do one top coat, I let it dry for 24 hours and then I'll rotate it and spray the opposite side. The best and final step when you get to put all of your shells together in containers, to me, wow. What a great and wonderful step that is. I really want to find the best way to display all of my shelves. I have a couple crafts, but I really want them to be done in like an awesome, classy way. But time will only tell. Let's start with the sand dollars and show you how you can take your sand dollar from looking like this to a much brighter white like this. The first thing you need to do is rinse your sand dollars. And that's going to change a lot. You just rinse all the dirty sand off. Then I'm gonna plug the sink and let that fill up with water. And I'm gonna add some bleach. I'm definitely not gonna measure. I'm just gonna measure with my heart and soul. I have enough water to cover the sand dollars, so we're just gonna let those sit. They say you're not supposed to let these sit for more than an hour, so you really just want to keep an eye on them because sand dollars are made out of sand. So they are very fragile and you want to be really careful with them. I'm just going to check on them about every 10 minutes. After they have sat between 10 minutes and an hour, you can drain your water. I like to rinse the bleach water off. And already they are looking much better, but laying your shells out in the sun will naturally finish bleaching them and it'll bring them to a much brighter white. If you've ever wondered what's inside a sand dollar, I'll show you. These are like sand dollar teeth. They look like birds. But these are what you'll find inside your sand dollars. I did see somewhere that you can spray these with like an Elmer's glue type spray or a Mod Podge spray. So I might do that, but I like the matte, so I just need to find a matte spray and then maybe I'll try that. Now I think I should try my sea biscuits. Thanks to the help of my brother-in-law Landon, I have these two different types of sand biscuits, sea biscuits. Can you believe that these used to be living things and they were created out of the sand? If you look closely inside this one, do you remember when I showed you the teeth that were inside the sand dollars? I think that's what those are. Here we go, same deal as last time. We're gonna plug the sink with water and mix in with bleach. This came out of the shell. It's just a little piece of seagrass, but it makes me miss the beach, that's for sure. So let me tell you what I learned with the sea biscuits. I did the same process as the sand dollars and it worked really great. But then I sprayed it with the spray that I usually do the shells with and it kind of turned it this kind of orangey, browny color. Don't spray your sand dollars. This one was super interesting. You can see the darker coloring on the sides. And I actually really liked that the spray brought that color out. This is the natural brown color on top, which is so weird because it looks like it's seeping sap or something, but it's not. That is just the natural color when it gets brought out. So on this type of shell, when I sprayed it, I was happy that it brought those colors out, but I don't know. Pretty bizarre, right? Now let's take a look at the horseshoe crabs. I am sorry, I cannot let these go. I'm in love. So let's take a peek. I love all of these little details. I think it is the coolest thing ever. Boston got a hold of this thing. It had molted. So this is the shell. And then this is one that I found. I don't know much about them, but I think this is really cool. And what I noticed is, see how this has a point right here, this has a point right here. When you come up on the daddy one, there's a point right here, but on this side, there is no point, but it's smooth. So it makes me wonder if somehow it got injured and that was broken off, or maybe it was just born with a defect or something, because I don't think it would have those like hair-like things right here and it wouldn't be smooth if it hadn't grown that way. The inside is pretty gnarly, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna put it upside down in the biggest bin that I have, and I realized on the bottom of the small one, it still has this in it. Look at those little claws in there. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I just detached that inside part. I'm gonna set that in the container. And when we were shelling, we were told to get the algicide to treat our shells. So I'm gonna soak this in this and see if that helps. I'm actually so nervous to lift this up because I've never done one of these before and I'm terrified it's just gonna fall apart. It's not soggy the way I thought it is. This is pretty gross, so what I'm gonna do is take it out and scrub it, and then we'll go from there. I was able to scrub this up, and it looks really good. So I scrubbed a lot of the gunk out of here. So I think we're just gonna soak it one more time. But I think the blue is kind of tinting this. Maybe I put too much blue in there. Maybe I need to just use bleach.
That's probably what I would do.
After I let the horseshoe crab soak in bleach for a couple of days, it was super malleable, but now you can see it's very rigid and I actually can't bend it, or I think I would snap it. The inside has cleaned up really well. I think I just now, you know what, that's like kind of hardened now. I don't actually know what to do with it at this point. It doesn't stink, which I didn't think that was ever gonna happen, but it doesn't stink. So I did see someone take resin and do like a resin coat. I think I'm gonna spray it with my spray that I do with the shells. I'll just save that for another time. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful to you guys, but that is how I clean and take care of all of my shells. I am positive that you guys may have some better recommendations for me, all of you pro shellers out there. So if you have some, I would love to read them in the comments. And I would love to send one of you a collection of shells. So leave a comment with your Instagram handle. That way I can private message you on Instagram when I choose the winner. And then I will send one of you a package of seashells. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye guys.